What's going on, you guys? This is Tech HD coming at you with a brand new video, and today we're going to be taking a look at a new field monitor from Andycine, which is their C7, and it's an ultra bright monitor, so it's perfect for outdoor use. So we're going to be taking a look at what it comes with, some of the features, and what I overall think of this. So taking a look at what comes in the box, you get some documentations, a carrying case, and inside you get a 3-foot HDMI to mini HDMI cable, an HDMI to micro HDMI cable, a USB to micro USB cable for the battery charger, a 4400 mAh Sony MPF battery, a battery charger, the L bracket for the monitor, and the field monitor itself. Taking a look at the I/O ports, on the bottom you have a DC out port that supports 8.4 volts, as well as you have an DC in port that supports 12 volts and an HDMI input and output. On the side you have the headphone port and an on and off button that acts as a disable the touchscreen button. On the top you have the menu button and the wheel, the auto dimming sensor in the middle, and 3 custom function buttons. And finally on the other side you have the SD card slot for importing LUTs. On the back you have 2 Sony MPF battery slots, and it's hot swappable, so it's great. So if one of the batteries were to die, you could just swap it out and not have it cut out the signal, and just put in another battery and just keep on recording. The build quality of the field monitor is fairly decent. It's mainly a plastic build, and taking a look at the display, it's a 7-inch IPS panel that has a resolution of 1920 by 1200, and it has a brightness of 2200 nits. It has a fully touchscreen display, and it has some shortcuts, like if you double tap the screen, it'll open the main menu. If you scroll up and down with your finger on the left side, it'll control the backlight. If you do it on the right side, it'll control the volume. And if you scroll up from the bottom, it'll pull up the shortcut menu. Now, taking a look at the shortcut menu, you could turn on and off the 9 grid. You can change the safety marker. I personally keep it at 1.85 to 1, and then you can enable the center marker. You can also set the marker mat, enable and disable the false color, and finally turn on and off the LUT switch. Now, taking a look at the main menu, the first tab gives you some helpful tools to make sure that your shot is perfect. For example, focus assist is to make sure that the foreground is in focus and sharp. Zebra pattern is to control the exposure and to ensure that nothing is overexposed. Monochrome is for measuring the gray and RGB. False color is great for skin tones to make sure that everything is accurate and not too under or overexposed. A lot of these features are not in DSLR or mirrorless cameras, usually in more expensive cine cameras. The second tab is very similar to the shortcut menu. You have the 9 grid, the safety marker, center marker, marker mat. You also have the marker mat alpha percentage and the color you could set the marker. The third tab is some display settings, like being able to set the scan mode, change the video aspect. In the user setting you can change the width and height. You also have the anamorphic mode, so if you have some anamorphic lenses, you can see how it is shot the way that you want it to look. You can flip the screen horizontally and vertically and enable the zoom times, freeze, and pixel to pixel. On the fourth tab you have all the different waves. You can enable it all if you like, or just individually, like the parade, vector, RGB histogram, regular histogram, and audio meter. These you don't see again on most cameras, and they do help a lot when it comes to color, skin tones, and exposure, so it's really great to have. The fifth tab is for RGB settings, like enabling the LUT, importing LUTs from an SD card, changing the color temperature of the screen, setting the backlight mode. Manually you can set the backlight, of course, but you can also have it be automatic. You can also change the brightness, contrast, saturation, hue, and sharpness. And finally, on the 6th tab, you can set to what the wheel can do. You can also set the 3 function buttons to be almost anything you want. I personally use focus assist, false color, and all waves, since I believe those are the most beneficial features. You can also set the language, change the OSD alpha in time, mess with the volume, and finally mute option. So in my testings, I've grown to really like a 7-inch display because it helps a lot more when it comes to seeing what's in focus, and it gives me more room when it comes to framing the shot. I also love the 2200 nit ultra bright display because for the same reason, it helps a lot when it comes to visibility, and I tried that outside shooting my friend's car, and it was very easy to see even in really bright situations. There was no need for a sun hood, and comparing it to my S1H display, it doesn't compete with the C7 display, and I even compared it with the Atomos Ninja 5, which has a 1000 nit brightness, and you could still easily see the difference between 2200 and 1000 nits. I also love that this offers a lot of features that I believe is very beneficial for videography, like focus peaking and false color. There's also the vector scopes and histogram and the safety markers. Those features are not in most cameras, so having it on a field monitor helps a lot. And I also love that I could use either 1 or 2 Sony NPF batteries to keep it powered, so having that long battery life is great. And I can even plug it in with a 12-volt power adapter if I want to be stationary. I also love the L bracket because it gives me that extra hot shoe mount for a microphone or a remote shutter. It also makes it easy to angle the monitor and even flip it around to do more of a vlogging style. Now, a couple of things that I didn't like about the C7, the first being the big bezels on the device, and I feel like it's so unnecessary to have such a big bezel. Without it, you could either make the field monitor smaller with the same 7-inch display, or keep the size but have a bigger display. Either way I would prefer, but this big bezel and even the big Andycine 4K text makes the device look cheap. Speaking of cheap, I'm not a fan of the plastic build quality, and you could go with the X7 model for just 20 bucks more, which gives you a CNC aluminum build, but you also lose the dual battery slot, you also lose the L bracket and the touchscreen capability, so that really sucks. And finally, I don't like that there's no 2:1 safety marker. All of my videos are in a 2:1 aspect ratio to benefit the tall mobile phone displays, but the closest thing is a 1.85:1 safety marker, which is close but not 100% accurate. This feature could be easily added in an update, so I really hope that Andycine adds that soon. Overall, I really like what the C7 has to offer, and I would highly recommend it to those that shoot a lot outside. That's where it really benefits, and you won't have to worry about the battery life as well. Of course, with that $250 price tag, there are some corners that it needed to cut, like the build quality, but if that doesn't bother you, then the C7 is a great option to really step up your videography. But let me know what you guys think down in the comments below, and everything will be linked down in the description below. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Turn on post notifications so that you guys can be notified whenever I upload a new video. Follow me on Twitter, YouTube, Instagram, and Twitch. As always, TechHD. I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace!